First off, I need to apologize for not making this video sooner. I am sorry. I have been super busy. I just got a new job and it is out of town, so I have to get up at 3:45 and then start work at 5:30, get home at 4 p.m., 10 and a half hours, and then I literally get home and crash. I eat dinner, maybe watch a movie or a couple episodes of The Office, and then crash. And then I wake up and do the same thing again. But I finally have time to sit down and make this video, so here we go. So this is my top 10 favorite movies of 2018, and I know we are already so far into 2019. Again, I am sorry, but this is my personal opinion. This is not like the Rotten Tomatoes score. This is not IMDb's. This is not Watch Mojo's top 10 list. This is my personal opinion. We're gonna disagree, okay? Just keep that in mind. Now, I actually went through this list a couple times and did change it around. So number 10 is like, it took me so long to figure out what number 10 was. I kept switching it back and forth because I just did not know what I wanted on the list, what I didn't want on the list. There will be an honorable mentions, so whatever didn't get on the list that was like, probably gonna be on the list is in the honorable mentions. But how about we just get started on number 10? Number 10 is Solo: A Star Wars Story. This is Disney's fourth Star Wars movie since they bought it back in 2013, I think, for like $7 billion, bought Lucasfilm. And honestly, I had a lot of fun with this movie. You can see my full review on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below because I do have a full review on it. But just a quick run-up, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. And it was nothing but fun. I went into that theater and walked out satisfied. Like, I had so much fun with it. I think the actor playing Han Solo did a really good job because he wasn't in any way trying to copy Harrison Ford. He was doing his own take on Han Solo, and I totally dug it. So overall, I really enjoyed the movie. Definitely put it on my top 10 list. Number 9 is Ready Player One. This movie was so cool, and I know there are diehard fans of the book series that hated the movie because it was completely different, but I have not read the book, so judging the movie on its own, I really enjoyed it. I loved how, first time I'm watching it, I was like, wow, this is a really cool movie, and then every time I watch it after that, I have to look for all the different characters and stuff, because each and every character is a character that you know from a movie, a video game, a cartoon series, a comic book. It's just everywhere. It's awesome. It's such a good movie, so creative. Steven Spielberg directed it, and that was the main reason I was excited to see the movie, because he totally nailed it. He brought back that Spielberg magic, and it was so cool and so fun. Number 8 is Deadpool 2. First time I saw the movie, I loved it. Don't get me wrong, I totally loved it. But I didn't know whether or not I liked it better than the first one. And after doing some thinking, I realized that I like the second one better, only because I think the first one is a better made movie, but I think the second one is a better Deadpool story, because the second movie is honestly a total mess. It really is. It's all over the place, and it's awesome because that's who Deadpool is. Like, his comics and stuff were a total mess. They were totally unorganized on purpose because he's Deadpool, and it was super fun. So that's why I like Deadpool 2 better, just because it was a better story of Deadpool. It was a better Deadpool story, it felt more like Deadpool than the first one did. But the first movie is a better made movie, if that makes any sense. But Deadpool 2, I loved it. It was so funny. Every time I watch it, I laugh. I never hold back. I can't think of anyone else to play Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds, I feel like that character was built for him. Why did I say built? That sounded weird. That character was made for him. It was written for him. It was just so good. He's so good in it. I was actually thinking about Googling sign language so I could sign this real quick, but I kind of got too lazy, so I'm just gonna say number 7 is A Quiet Place. I think it would have been really cool if I sign languaged it, just but no. This movie, I don't even know where to start. It's just, it's one of those horror movies that I had to see in the theater. I hate seeing horror movies in the theater, not because I'm scared, because I love horror movies, but because you go see a horror movie about a haunted house, and you see it in a theater, it's not scary. You know, you're sitting in a theater. The only thing that's going to be scary are the jump scares because it's loud. You know, you're sitting in a theater that's full of all these people with like popcorn noises, soda, and it's not scary. You know, I'd rather watch The Conjuring at home with all the lights off, all alone, where it's creepy, where I'm scared to get up and go to the bathroom, you know, where I'm scared to get up and go to bed. Like, I'm just like, I'm just going to sleep on the couch because I just don't want to leave, and I just want to stay right here so I don't get killed. You know, but A Quiet Place, I had to see it in the theater because it's really not that kind of movie. It's not a scary movie. It's just a very, very intense, edge of your... Whoa, it was shaking. It's very, very intense. You're on the edge of your seat the entire time. It's one of those horror movies where you can't look away. You have to keep watching. And who thought that John Krasinski, Jim Halpert could nail it so well, and Emily Blunt, oh my god. Obviously they have chemistry because they're married, but it was so well done, so well written, so well directed, and I hear that John Krasinski is up to direct A Quiet Place 2. I don't know why they're making A Quiet Place 2. Like, I'm not saying I don't want it, but I would be okay if they didn't, you know? I feel like this movie was completely fine on its own, but they're making another one, fine. As long as it's good, I really don't care. But, I don't know, what are you going to do? The first one was great. I loved it. Okay. So, with number 6, I went into this movie hoping that it would be the best one in the franchise. Opening scene, I knew it was already the best one in the franchise. Halfway through the movie, not only did I think it was the best in the franchise, but I thought it was definitely the best movie of the year. And that is Bumblebee. Number 6, Bumblebee. I can't explain how shocked I was with this movie. I am not a fan of the Michael Bay movies. Like, the first one is good. I didn't like the second one. The only reason I liked the third one was because of the action, and then didn't like the fourth one, and I hated the fifth one. I hated it. It was so bad. It was boring. It was like, I've seen this before. You know, robots fighting. I've seen it. I lost interest. I fell asleep in the theater. It's the only time I've ever fallen asleep in a theater, and it was a Transformers movie. With Bumblebee, I was really looking forward to it because A, it's not directed by Michael Bay, B, it takes place in the 80s, and C, I could just tell from the trailers that it was already going to be better because of the designs of all the Transformers were like spot on to G1. And honestly, my favorite Transformers movie is the G1 movie from the 80s, the cartoon. It's so good. And this movie had that feel to it. Because one thing about Michael Bay's movies is that it's all action, it's all mindless, there's no real character development, but you cared so much about these characters, and it was crazy, it was totally unexpected. I absolutely loved Bumblebee. It was so fun, such a heartwarming movie. It had so much heart to it, and it shocked me. Also, the action scenes, you could see them. You know, in all the Michael Bay movies, they were so shaky and you couldn't see anything. It was like fighting and stuff, and you could not see. You could not, it gave you a headache, you know? And the thing with the aspect ratio in the fifth one, that was so weird how it would go widescreen, then IMAX, and widescreen. And I understand, like, Christopher Nolan does that with the Dark Knight trilogy, but that makes sense because it's with, like, the wide scope scenes, you know, when the hospital is blowing up, or when the truck is flipping after the bat pod tripped it, and that makes sense because you want to see IMAX because it makes it so much cooler. But it was like literally every shot was a different aspect ratio, and it was crazy. You could not tell what was going on. But with Bumblebee, the cinematography was so well done because you could actually see the fights, and they were awesome. Bumblebee was awesome. Coming in at number 5 is Black Panther. I remember getting excited for this movie when I found out that Black Panther was going to be in Captain America Civil War because I've always loved that character. I've known about him before the MCU, and I was waiting for him to be in the MCU, and then they announced that he was going to be in Civil War, and I was so stoked, and then he was awesome in Civil War, one of my favorite characters. Probably, nah, he's not my favorite character. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to get into that right now, but he did awesome. I could not ask for a better take on Black Panther than in Captain America Civil War. So first trailer hit for Black Panther, I was stoked. Second trailer hit. By the second trailer, I was like, if this movie is not the best MCU movie, I'm going to be very upset. And I watched it, and after watching it, I was like, this is totally my favorite MCU movie. And it was my favorite MCU movie for the longest time until the next one came. And so now Black Panther is number 2. But Yeah, but one thing I loved about Black Panther is that it wasn't a stereotypical superhero movie. If anything, it was more like The Lion King. Not just because it was an Africa Cup, just the story with it, like the family taking over the king and whatever. But yeah, you get it. But it was so much more than a superhero movie, it got so in depth with the history and the culture of this fictional country, Wakanda. And it was so fascinating and interesting. And the fact that every actor in there was able to nail that African accent honestly blew me away. I was like, it was amazing. It was super good. The only thing that I was like, about was the visual effects, but everyone thinks that. But that kind of stuff doesn't really bother me as long as it's not like, The Mummy 2. It's fine. But yeah, I still loved the movie. Definitely my second favorite MCU movie. I have the album because the album is amazing, and I have the album on vinyl, and the vinyl itself is red. It's super cool. But yeah, I loved Black Panther. It was so good. It was also one of those movies where like the villain stole the show. Like Michael B. Jordan playing Killmonger. I felt like it was more of his movies than T'Challa's. So yeah, I don't know. Coming in at number 4 is another Michael B. Jordan movie, and that's Creed 2. I love the Rocky movies. Well, I love the first Rocky movie. I love the second Rocky movie. I really, 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 really enjoy the third and fourth Rocky movies. I'm not a fan of the fifth one. And then Rocky Balboa, I did like it. I liked it a lot. I just didn't like it better than the first 4. And then I saw Creed 1. And I loved it. It was so cool. It was like a passing of the torch movie. I liked Creed better than all but the first Rocky movie. And then I saw Creed 2. And honestly, I like Creed 2 better than Creed 1. I don't like Creed 2 better than the first Rocky, but I did like Creed 2 better than Creed 1 only because... Honestly, just because Ivan Drago was back, and I loved Ivan Drago in Rocky 4, and I was so excited. I remember seeing the teaser trailer for Creed 2, when they played DNA, which I love Kendrick Lamar, so when they started playing DNA, I lost my shit. But when you see his opponent coming in, and then it says Drago on his back, oh my god! It's just, seeing the movie in the theater, it was so good. I loved that movie. Definitely, honestly, I think it has my favorite montage, my favorite training montage of the Rocky franchise. It was so good. Goosebumps on goosebumps on goosebumps. I loved it so much. No, I didn't think it was better than the first Rocky movie, obviously. I don't think anything is going to top the first Rocky movie. But I honestly hope they don't make a Creed 3. I mean, I'd be fine with it. I'd watch it, and I would hope that it's good. But I don't think they should make one. Where can you go from Ivan Drago? Another character, just a fictional... I just don't think they could go higher than Ivan Drago's son. Maybe that's just me, but I loved Creed 2. Even if they did make a third one, I don't think it would be better than Creed 2. It was just so good. It was just so good. So, this is the 6th one in the franchise. Number 3 is the 6th movie in the franchise. And it's funny because I've seen all of them, and I loved the first one, and then I enjoyed the other 4, but I watched them once, and then I was like, hey, those were good movies, but oh well, I'll probably never watch them again. But I've seen the first one a bunch of times because I love the first one. But all the other ones were just kind of like, those were fun. I have no desire to watch them again. But this one, I saw this one in the theater, the 6th one that came out. I saw this in the theater because I had a gift card to my local theater and I had nothing to do that day, so I went to go see it alone. And halfway through, I was like, this is already the best one in the franchise. I am going to watch this movie over and over again. I saw it twice in the theater. I went again because I was like, Dad, we have to go see this movie. So we went and saw it, and he loved it. Mission Impossible Fallout. Oh my god. It was... Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't even know... me just saying, all the other movies are good, but, not good enough to watch again. That's just how I feel. They're good movies, but I just have no desire to watch them again. But Mission Impossible Fallout, I don't know what it was. It was just so well made. The action sequences, it was so good. I don't know why this one was my favorite, honestly. I had so much fun with it. And it was, God, it was just, ah, I, I don't know. I can't explain it. I really can't. I loved it. It was so good. Oh, man, it's just, so good. My favorite one in the franchise. And I'm going to watch it over and over again. And they said, like, when Mission Impossible, before it even came out, when only the critics have seen it, they said that it was the best action movie since The Dark Knight. And I was like, whoa there, calm down. And then I saw the movie, and I was like, this is the best action movie since John Wick. Because I love the John Wick movie. So watching Mission Impossible Fallout, I was like, there have been better action movies since. Not better action movies, but there have been, like, I would say John Wick was the greatest action movie since The Dark Knight. And then, John Wick 2 was the greatest action movie since John Wick 1. And then Mission Impossible Fallout was the greatest action movie since John Wick 2. That's what I would say about it, but it was so good. I loved it. Coming in at number 2 is an animated movie, but you probably already know what it is, because it's me, and yeah. But this movie, I was so stoked about it. I remember reading when it's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because I'm just going to talk about it. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, number 2. I remember reading when Sony had that, like, email hack, and they announced that they were going to make, a Sinister Six movie, Spider-Man 3, Venom, blah, 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 and then an animated Spider-Man movie, and I was like, what? And then I found out it was going to be Miles Morales, and I was like, well, oh, okay, I like that idea, because I really like Miles Morales. And I was waiting for a Miles Morales movie. I mean, when Aaron Davis was in Childish Gambino, Donald Glover played Aaron Davis in Homecoming, I was like, oh my god, that means they're going to bring in Miles Morales eventually. But I found out that the animated Spider-Man movie was going to be Miles Morales, and I was super down. I was like, I'm in, count me in, I'm down, count me down, But I saw the movie, and I absolutely loved it. It is my second favorite Spider-Man movie after Spider-Man 2. Yeah. I liked it more than Homecoming. I'm sorry, I did. I liked it more than Homecoming. I like Spider-Man 2 more than Homecoming. But anyways, Homecoming is number 3. We're not talking about Homecoming. We're talking about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It was so good. The animation, I know everyone is like freaking out about the animation and stuff because it was good. I've never seen animation done like that. It was styled like a comic book. But not only was it like seeing the trailers, I honestly thought I was gonna get a headache in this movie, just with all the colors and in the weird movement. I was like, oh god, I'm not gonna like this at all. No, it was so well done and so cool. Like, I've never seen anything like it. I hope it wins Best Animated Picture, like for Oscar wise. I'm not watching the Oscars though because the Oscars are stupid that they don't have a host. It's stupid. You might as well just Google the answers. Anyways, but when they do release them on Google, I hope that it's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And the album for that, too. They released an album with that, and it was so good. Like, I liked all of the songs. I need to get it on vinyl. They're releasing it on vinyl. I don't know if it's out yet, but I need to get it, because it'd be really cool if the vinyl had his eyes on it. If it was like a black vinyl because the cover of the album is his face. But, yeah. I think that the album was amazing because the movie was amazing, and I'm down for more. I want to see what else Sony can do with this animated universe. I want more. Obviously, they're making more. They already announced like a Spider-Gwen movie. I think they announced a sequel already. I just want more. I want to see more with this. So, before we get into number 1, we have to do my honorable mentions. So, these honorable mentions are in no particular order. I just kind of wrote them down because I enjoyed the movies, but they just weren't enough to be in my top 10. So, in no particular order, honorable mentions are Aquaman, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Halloween, Incredibles 2, Overlord, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Game Night. Now, coming in at number 1 for the best movie of 2018, The Predator. The Predator was so good. Not only was it the best movie in the Predator franchise, but it was the best movie of 2018. Shane Black, the director, is a god. I knew that he had so much. Oh my god. The Predator sucked. I didn't hate it, but it sucked. Ah, I'm kidding. Number one, there we go. Avengers Infinity War. I'm sorry. Avengers Infinity War is my favorite MCU movie, my favorite movie of the year. If you want to see my full opinion on it, you can go ahead and click one of the links down below because I do have a full review on it. And it's like, I don't know how long, but it's long. So, if you want to watch it, it is spoilers. There are spoilers in the review. So, watch it at your own risk. But Avengers Infinity War, 10 years in the making. Oh my god, it was so good. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it so much. I remember seeing Iron Man in the theater opening weekend when I was 8 years old. I remember. Captain America: The First Avenger is the only MCU movie I did not see in the theater because I was not a fan of Captain America before that movie. So I didn't care to see it. And then I saw the movie when it came out on DVD and I was so upset because I loved it. But yeah. You know, my dad always tells me how he grew up with Star Wars. You know, he has seen Star Wars build itself becoming, one of the biggest movie franchises of all time and how it changed movie making forever. And I always thought, I want that with something. You know, I can't have that with Star Wars because it's already been done. I want to see a franchise being built from the ground up. You know, I want to see a movie franchise that everyone is talking about. And it was just recently, literally like last month, that I realized I was sitting in the theater opening weekend for Iron Man. And then I was sitting in the theater opening weekend for Avengers, and then I was sitting opening weekend for Age of Ultron, and then there I am opening night for Infinity War. The Marvel Cinematic Universe changed movie making forever. And some of you are like, how? No, it didn't. Yes, it did. Because everyone is trying to beat them. Everyone is trying to make a cinematic universe, and everyone is failing. No one will ever beat the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm not even kidding right now. I'm like ranting about this. Star Wars tried to do it with Rogue One and Solo, and I liked them, but it's nowhere near the MCU. DCEU is just now getting good with Aquaman. That's the only good movie. No, it's not. But you get what I mean. God, Universal tried to do it with the Monsterverse or the Dark Universe with Dracula, that shitty Dracula movie, and then that shitty Mummy reboot. And then they're failing because they're trying to keep up with Marvel. Marvel took their time, you dumbasses. Take your time with it if you're going to make a cinematic universe. God, I'm totally going off right now. This is no one is going to beat the Marvel Cinematic Universe, man. No one. Just sit down and enjoy them. Fuck. God. It's just, I can't ask for a better saga, even though technically I like Star Wars better, but even then, the only Star Wars movies that are like out of the park amazing are the original trilogy. I don't like the prequels. Force Awakens was great. I loved The Force Awakens, but it's nowhere near the originals. Last Jedi was disappointing, and then Rogue One and Solo, I liked Rogue One and Solo. I loved Rogue One and Solo. But still, the only good, amazing movies that everyone can agree on are the original trilogies. Avengers Infinity War was a movie 10 years in the making, and they took their sweet-ass time with it, and it paid off. And now Avengers Endgame is coming out, and I don't know what to expect with Avengers Endgame. I really don't. It's just, I think I've gone too long with this. It's just, I'm out of breath, and those are my top 10 favorite movies of 2018. I should make a video about the MCU, because that rant was like a video on itself. So I'm going to do that probably soon. Probably not soon because I'm working a lot, but I'll do it as soon as I can. I'm really out of breath, so I'm going to go. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk and listening to my top 10 favorite movies of 2018. Comment below what your favorite movies are. Comment if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Check out the links below with some of my reviews that I have of some of those movies. Also check out my top 10 movies of 2017. And then check out my Instagram down below, and then also check out my other YouTube channel down below where I do like skits and stuff, and short films. And then check out my Instagram for this channel. If you like these videos, you should check out that Instagram, because with that Instagram, I post, it's not like a behind the scenes thing, it's more like just kind of movie stuff. Like I started this new thing called Obvious Facts, where I post, you know, like Jurassic Park is about dinosaurs, or Spider-Man is called Spider-Man because he was a man who was bit by a spider. You know, obvious facts. I do it for fun because it's funny. Or, you know, I do fan casts. I do quick little movie reviews when I can't. When I don't have the time to make a video, I'll just do like a pros and cons list of a movie that I just saw, you know, stuff like that. So go check that out. If you like this channel, you'll like that. And, yeah. So I'm gonna go now, and, yeah. Alright, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, check out the links down below, and I will see you guys later.